Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of April 19th through the 25th. And during that time, we mostly have a waxing crescent moon, and that's a time of heightened senses. Excuse me, I think I just got a big inhale of my incense there. Time of heightened senses, and a good time to buckle down and get to work on those things that we've just started during the new moon. So keep that in mind. We then have our first disruptor of the cycle, which is that first quarter moon, and that comes in on the 24th or the 25th. And this energy might last for a couple of hours or a day. And it's kind of like a little mini full moon where you feel impulsive, impatient. Your mind is active. You just can't buckle down and get anything accomplished. So see that as either a time for you to learn how to be in control and dominate your impulses, kind of just to settle yourself down mentally, or just schedule some time where you don't have to do much. So either or, whatever you decide to do there. All right, let's get into this reading. I will quit babbling about that. Aquarius, April 19th through the 25th. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter this week. So as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is a fiery climax approaches. All right, let's see what the Aquarians have going on for the week. As I'm shuffling the tarot cards, my fun weekly reminder, Aquarius, is that you take some time to get out in nature, or as they say, touch grass these days, right? Get out and go ahead and do that. Touch some grass. Literally get your feet, ground your feet if you can, bare feet and some earth. I know I miss doing that when it's winter. And if I'm in the Midwest, so it's just been the longest, coldest winter. It's so nice. I went out today and it was just warm and lovely, and let my feet get down in some grass. So it literally feels good to get grounded like that. All right, we'll see if my hands want to shuffle these cards. But yeah, that's my advice for you this week. Get out in nature, go take a nice long walk. Leave your shoes on if you do that. But get near some water. If you're near the ocean, we're all jealous of you. Go listen to the ocean waves and just, ponder off and sit in front of that ocean, and, do that for the rest of us too. If you're near a lake, taking a walk along a lake shoreline, beautiful, good time of year. So please do that. Get out into some nature this week. It's good for your soul. All right, let's get into this reading. Aquarius, April 19th through the 25th. A fiery climax approaches. Your present energy, well, it's a fiery climax, and we're already starting off with you against the world. You're feeling like it's you against the world. It might just be you against a couple of people at work or some people in your friend group, but of course, anytime we have some sort of conflict that comes up, you do kind of feel like that. Like, oh, can anyone ever just get on my page here and understand what I'm going through? So hopefully we'll find that person in your reading here. But looks like some fiery climax. It's something you've been fighting for a while here. I don't think this is new, but let's continue here. Your current situation is the World card. This is the card of perfect balance. This is dreams coming true. It's the end of the major arcana. It's where the fool ends up at the end of his journey, is the World card. This is dreams coming to fruition, things coming to fulfillment. So why, if that is your current situation, if you're reaching the end of something, why are you feeling like the struggle that it's you against literally the world? Sometimes if we're feeling like that, you need to kind of look around. What are you fighting for so hard that has you pushing back against other people, other ideals, so maybe we're going to question that a little bit through this reading. At the root of your situation is a little bit of grief and sadness here with the Five of Cups. So, it could be something that you're feeling from when? That's my question. From really early in your life, from something that's gone on recently. So think about that. Think about a time when you recently, I guess, when you're feeling, just a little sad about something. What is this pushback? Is your worldview a little bit different from others? Probably you're an Aquarius. Let's start there. Aquarians do have a little bit different of a take on things, and that's not bad. It's just that you guys are built a little bit differently. You're very philosophical, but you can sometimes be a little bit detached and aloof. I know I've said that, and I've had comments from Aquarians that are like, no, we're not. Yeah, you can kind of be like that, and it's not a bad thing. It's one of those things that some of the rest of us really appreciate those qualities in you, that you just seem to be like just flitting along, like, yeah, whatever. So where the rest of us are like, how do you do that? So it is a good quality. Think of a time here when you're feeling grief over something. What exactly happened? Maybe kind of lay it out. It might be something that you're still working through, but I feel like you're fighting literally against the world for some belief that you have, that you're trying to hold on to. So you might want to go back and examine where that originates from and see why you're holding on to that so tightly. I hope that all made a lot of sense. It did to me. In your recent past, the Hierophant. So you've sought some guidance on this before. You've sought some guidance on your worldview before, and this could be why you're at a tarot reading right now. That you're kind of looking for where to put all this, to where, and I feel like it is kind of an attitude. It's a way of being, and you just believe in it wholeheartedly, and you might just need to examine it a little bit. It might not be completely wrong, but you might just have some elements might just be a little bit off kilter, so that it is hard for you to relate to others. What is on your mind this week is some sort of indecision about something. So if a fiery climax is approaching, you're not quite there yet. Of course, it does say approaching. So Two of Swords is about you are thinking through some decision that you need to make. And again, it could just be some decision about your worldview. Really, we all do that. Believe me, those get adjusted all the time. But something, I think it's a little deeper than that for you. I think this is, and I don't say worldview in the way of like, politics and that sort of thing. I just mean like how you exist in the world and how the world reacts to you as the person that you are. I hope that makes sense. What's just ahead of you? Page of Swords. So some new way of communicating, and maybe just communicating this. Maybe once you get, and maybe this is a part of the solution, is maybe you don't communicate enough. Maybe that's hard for you. Pages are juveniles of the deck, and that doesn't mean juvenile as in age, although it could be a young person that I'm talking to right now, but juvenile as in a new way of doing something, a new way of communicating. Like say, you know what, I'm not very open about this part of my life to my friends, and I want to be, and so this is a new way of communicating. And maybe you just don't, like, say you don't share your feelings. You just keep your feelings detached. Maybe you go home, you write them in your journal, but you don't tell your friends. It would be new of you to be like, you know what, I am going to tell my friends my feelings. It might be very weird at first and very hard, but if it's a worldview that you're trying to change, and of course I'm using that as an example, if it's something that you're trying to change, it is hard to do. It is hard to take that first step on a new path and be a little bit different. But if it's something in there that you do want to change about yourself, you just have to take those first baby steps to do it. All right. What is in your advice position? Just be happy. Just be happy. How can that be so hard? Right? Just do it. Is there something here that's keeping you from that? Is there some pushback that you do that you're like, I could just be happy? And this could just be an attitude. It could just be an attitude adjustment that maybe, I've said many times, happiness is a choice. You can either, I've known people that I'm like, what are you not happy about? Look around at your life is great. You're fine. How are you being unhappy? And it's like people that nitpick and just find things to be unhappy about. Sometimes just relax and just be happy. If you tend to be like that, just be happy. What's the song? Don't worry, be happy. Oh, I can't sing that. I heard you're not even allowed to hum songs anymore. Anyway, don't worry, be happy. You know the thing I'm talking about there. What's beyond your control? Eight of Cups. Beyond your control is that you move into your future in a positive way with the support behind your back. So I use the example of opening up to your friends. You don't want to be, I mean, you do need to open up about your sad feelings to your friends also, but look at the support. Well, sometimes when you tell people things, um, they're on your page. Most of us are really going through kind of the same things. And if you came to me and told me some sad thing that happened to you, I could probably, and the way you were feeling about it, I would probably be able to relate to you on some level because either it happened to me already, or I have a friend that it already happened to, or I read a book about something. Like there's people are sensitive to things like that. And you might not think they are because Aquarians, you guys do seem to be you're a little bit more detached from people. Maybe open that up a little bit. Again, feeling like you against the world is not the most fun. Sometimes you just need people on your team, which means opening up to them. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid, is the star card. So the star card is about being on, like the saying, it's written in the stars. It's about being drawn to things. It's about following the signs. It's about making decisions based on those signs and based on those things that you see. But it is a card of hope and guidance, and it's about being on course. So is it your secret desire to be on course with how the universe wants things to unfold for you, or do you really fight that? And that's a big question for you to ask this week. If it is your secret desire to be on course, you're going to pay attention to the universe. You're going to open up to the people around you. You're going to move into your future with some support at your back. So that's a decision that you need to make there. In your outcome position is the Five of Swords. So what ends up here, a fiery climax approaches, and there it is. And it's going to be words exchanged, maybe because you do come to a decision here. There's something you've been thinking about, and it could be just thinking about saying the thing. I think you're going to say the thing. And again, there might be hurt feelings, there might be some pushback, whatever, but I think you have to get things out on the table to clear the air, whatever that might mean for you. What is hidden from you this week is the Tower. So it's not like a huge disruption. I feel like this is something that's been brewing. You've been seeking counsel about this anyway. You might have been already talking to friends, but you're feeling like you against the world, and you need to put it out there. Again, this could be a work situation, this could be a friend situation, but you need to say the thing. You need to speak up and say the thing, because it's never going to get resolved and it might just be something minor. It might be that you say the thing and they're like, oh, girl, that's no big deal. I can't believe you didn't say something before. So speak up. Speak up and say the thing, Aquarius. All right, let's get you a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Aquarius. Make a plan. Okay, make a plan to speak up. And maybe if it's so uncomfortable for you that instead of speaking up, you write a note. Maybe you have a friend there for support. Make some sort of plan. You're not having a tower. It's not going to disrupt your entire world to come out with whatever this truth is. It's a little fiery. It is a fiery climax. I mean, there's a little passion involved, but I feel like it's the only way that you get to move forward positively, is that you have to say the thing that's there. You have to say the thing that's been on your mind. And it's whatever that you against the world, that feeling, whatever that is for you, that's the thing that you need to at least approach and talk about. All right, let's get you a self-care wisdom card. See what you need to do in the way of self-care this week, Aquarius. Self-care for you is the card called Risk. A couple of die on it. Take a chance. Every risk is a success when you're committed to learning and growth. So if this is about learning, again, how you are in the world, I feel like this is something you come up against a lot. Again, you against the entire world. So is that correct? Is there something in there that your way of being goes against what everybody thinks is correct? So maybe you need to look at yourself and say, am I doing that right? Maybe I need to make some adjustments. So again, do you want to follow what's written in the stars? Maybe you don't. I don't know. But go ahead, and I think you're going to be, choose to be happy and choose to get it off your chest is really what I think you need to do. So Aquarius, thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope there's something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life this week. If you're comfortable sharing and letting me know what this fiery climax was, what it is that you've been dealing with, of course, drop me a comment and let me know. Excuse me. And if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe helps you find me next week, where you can come back and we can see if this situation continues or if there's something completely new here for you energetically next week. So thanks so much, Aquarius. Good luck with this, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.